And welcome back to the Green Mountain Championship. We're here for the final 9. Fortunately, we've got Ricky in the studio here today. Thanks for stopping by, Rick.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here with you, Jeff, and I'm looking forward to doing this commentary. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, here you are, starting off the final 9. It looks like you threw a nice forehand there that skipped in. We caught up with Nate, who's been right on Rick's heels all tournament.
I just really need to go out and do what I've been doing. Really just make a move. I kind of have to birdie the holes and kind of hope that other players don't. I mean, you can only do what you can do, and they're going to do what they can do. So if I'm put into a situation where I have a chance to win the tournament, so be it. If not, I'm going to try to just play my game, stick with my game plan, and try to finish it out strong.
So it looks like Nate's going to try to track you down here, Rick, and here he goes. Nice little turnover that finishes just under the basket here.
Yeah. He applied a little pressure on right there on the beginning. I didn't throw the best shot, and he parked it. So that was a good start for him.
And Nico's actually trying to catch Nate. He's 4 back in Nate. That's not the way he wanted to start. That was a little low.
Right. Yeah. Nico's a really explosive player, and you always got to watch out for him. He can always be right in there in the hunt.
And then there's Avery. And you know Avery pretty well from Ohio, right?
Yeah. I grew up playing with him, and him and his parents both. We both grew up playing together and playing the same course.
Nice. Let's hear Avery's take on the final 9.
We're playing against one other person for 4th, and the top 3 right now are way ahead. They had great rounds, great weekend, and anything can go out here, especially in the woods. There's a lot of things you can have go your way, and other ways it can go the other way. So.
How far away were you on this one? Do you remember?
Probably about 40 feet. At 45 feet, I clipped the tree coming in, the guardian tree. It looked like I got through, but I actually hit a tree, and I had this long putt.
Oh, it looked like a good putt, and it just kind of hyzered out on you?
Yeah, I gave it a good run. I just didn't want to do anything crazy. Just kind of get it up there and move on to the next hole. I didn't have as good a drive as I wanted to. Here's Nico, though.
Oh, and that one kind of just stuck in his hand. It looks like a little bit longer.
Yeah, he's pretty disappointed about that one.
Yeah, not too
You always
pleased.
want to try and get off to a good start when you're starting off a pretty intense final 9 like this.
So Jason Dorr here is going for his deuce. He is 2 ahead of Avery Jenkins. I don't think we saw that one finish, but he did miss that deuce. And then here's Nate.
You can count on him making that about 99% of the time.
Yep. Yeah, looked like about a 20-footer there, 15, 20-footer. And then Avery just had a great drive. And all right, there we have it. Moving on to hole 2 of the final 9. It looked like Nate picked up a stroke on you there, Rick, and he's 1 throw closer. Moving on to hole 2. All right, and here we are on hole 2. This is a par 4. It's about 540 feet uphill. And here's Nate on the tee. It's really a position shot.
Yeah, it's one of the toughest holes. This hole and the next hole are 2 of the toughest holes on the course. So it's a real challenge.
That's looking pretty good. It's right up the middle. Just to the left of that sign is where you want to be. And he's pretty much on the red tee box, which is perfect. He's got like 200 feet up through a narrow gap. And here you are. How'd you play this hole throughout the week, Rick?
I basically threw the same shot every time, just try to throw it straight and land over by that short tee sign, right kind of by wherever you landed.
Oh, so you hyzered out a little earlier?
Yeah, this round I threw it a little left, but it's a tricky angle if you hyzer out. That's why it's such a tough hole. You got to be almost center of that short tee to have a look. So here's Nico. We'll see if he can get it pretty close to that short tee for a good upshot in this.
Ooh, and that's left, and it kicks towards the out of bounds. There's a stone wall running up the right side of this hole that is OB, and we're going to see whether or not he stayed in or not. But here's Jason Dorr. Jason has got a lot of power.
Yeah, he's a good player, and he should do well in this hole.
And I don't think we're going to see that one finish, but I believe he's up there a little bit to the left.
Probably just before getting on the turn.
That's Nico there, and he just puts his, he was in bounds, and he just put his second shot up in a great position to try to save his par there. Jason Dorr is looking through that small window, and that's a good release. And that's up there. He catches those trees that he hit are a divider curtain in the middle. There's actually 2 lanes. There's a small lane to the right. But here you are approaching, and what are you trying to do with this shot?
I'm just trying to hit the gap. Like you said, there's an inside gap and an outside gap. I try to try and throw a flex sidearm in the inside gap and try and get it up there for a putt. And Nate looks like he has about pretty similar shot to what I did, except a little farther up. So he's got a little trickier angle. So we'll see how he deals with this.
Yeah,
this tricky angle.
he did throw a little further on the tee, and it actually made it a tougher shot. He's in position for a 4, but he's got a long 3. There's Avery pumping one up there. He catches a tree, and he's also got another little up shot. So looks like you're the only one sitting there for 3 on this hole.
And there's Nico. He throws a pretty good shot for his save after having a rough tee shot.
And here we see Nate. That's where his second finished. Let's see if he can cozy it up there. He's got a tree or 2 to deal with. But that looks good. That's pretty standard shot for Nate. And there's Jason Dorr, and he's up there for a tap-in for 2. And lastly, Avery. Oh, just off the top of the basket for 3. That would have been a pretty nice shot. Let's see how everybody finishes up here. Nate's got the longest look here, and he got it. So we're going to watch everybody else clean up here and move on to hole 3. But hole 3 is a similar hole. You've got a more open drive and then a narrow approach to the basket. There you are, charging up the hill. You got your stroke back there. And I really think that, if Nate was going to make a move, that was his chance there. He picked up a stroke on hole 1. He was in a similar position on hole 2, and then you ended up making your 3. There's your tee shot, and I'm not sure if we see it finish, but that was an Annie flick, and it got way up there.
Yeah, that's why I throw the sidearm on that one, try and get pretty far up there because it's a tough long hole. Try and hit the fairway and throw a second shot up by the.
Yeah, and you really want to be on the right side of this fairway, especially if you want to have a chance to get it onto the green. It gives you the best angle. So Nate's just trying to throw one that moves left to right, and that looks like a great shot. That's pretty much where you want to finish, right there. He almost hit a spectator.
Yeah.
Here's Avery throwing another solid shot there. You see everybody's wanting to finish left to right, but that second big pine is really what you want to go slip right past, and you'll have a really good look. So here's Jason Dorr, and that looks like another nice shot there. Nico with 2 pars to start out.
Yeah, he threw a roller almost every round on this hole. Try and get as far as you can up this tough fairway.
Here's Jason Dorr, the Mainer, trying to blast one up that fairway. He's got to go right of that double birch tree there, and he found it, but he hits the last guardian trees on the right there. So he's gonna have another pitch up, try to save his 4.
Nate looks like he's throwing 2 mid ranges. He went a little bit too far right. That's why it's so tough. It's an uphill run up, uphill green with the rocks short of the green. So you still got to get it. With an uphill run up, you got to get it. Throw your disc past the guardian rocks. Oh, he catches a tree and kind of gets a good roll. So 4 is pretty decent on this hole. Like I said, it's the toughest hole in the course. So.
And Avery's up there. He's looking for a big Annie flick. And he worked it in there. He should have about a circle putt. You can see the stone wall there. He ended up just short of it. And here's your second shot. And you're looking for another Annie, right?
Yep.
There
I
it
did
is.
it. Yep. That's why the hole's so tough. You got to get it over the rocks, and if you don't, you're left with a 30-foot putt for a birdie.
And here's Nate, and he's trying to throw it up there. And you're sitting up there ready to take a stroke away from him. So this is going to be 2 unless he can get it up there. But he's got a little bit more of a straightforward shot here. He's looking right at it.
Bring it up. Come on.
There's Jason Dorr getting over the wall. And here's Avery. This has got to be a 35-footer over the wall. And he's eyeing it up. Let's see if he can catch some chains on this one. Oh, just off the band. That's rough. That was close. That's actually exactly what happened on the last hole, and I don't think he was psyched at that point. But here's Nico, and he needs this one.
Oh,
Boom.
Nico.
Yeah, that's a nice
Good putt by Nico, yeah.
All right, Rick, you took the only 3 there and picked up another stroke on Nate. We're headed over to hole 4. Here are the results so far. The Green Mountain Championship is sponsored in part by Back 9 Disc Golf, Vermont's own disc golf apparel and merchandise company based in Burlington, Vermont. Here we are on hole 4. It's a 310-foot par 3, and actually we're trying to get the camera set up, and we missed Nate and Rick on this hole, so we're going straight to Avery here. The hole's designed to go left to right, so it's more of a forehand hole, but Avery throws a backhand up there, and he's pretty much parked about 20 feet away. Now here's Jason Dorr on the tee. And he's looking right down that lane. On the left side of the lane is a OB wall, which makes this hole a little trickier. So I think, a lot of people were thinking birdie, but at the same time, it's a hole where you can take a 4.
It's just kind of a natural OB, it's flows with the course, and it looks pretty cool, and we don't see that at courses all over the country. So
Nate got knocked down early, so he's looking at a tough up here.
I think he actually went OB and clips a tree. Here's a chance for Nico to gain a few strokes if he can get a birdie or par, because I think Nate kicked OB off that tree. That rock wall was only a foot or two from where he was standing. I think he kicked OB.
Nico's real quick on that one.
Yeah.
Yep, not feeling the love from the course at that point, I don't think.
Right.
But he actually did throw one up there right next to the basket, so he's going to have a good shot at it. And yeah, you're right. I think Nate did go OB. So this is a putt for his 4 actually. Yeah. And he just can't save his bogey. It's rolling, but it looks like it settles in a spot where he should have no trouble dropping that in for 5. And here's Jason Dorr. And he's looking to make a move here. He's looking to put it in for a 2. Oh, just off the top, and that jumper goes a little high on him.
Probably wanted to make that one because Avery was closer than him, and I know they're battling at this point. So.
And here's a good look at your 2-putt. That was money right through that little gap too. That was a little uphill, right?
Yeah, it was probably about 30 feet, 28 to 30 feet uphill, and
no problem.
put it in there. Yeah.
And here's Avery. He had the CTP on this hole, and he's looking at like a 20-footer. Oh, and that one actually came out of his hand a little awkwardly, and it just banged off the cage and went right. But here's Nico, and Nico's looking to save his 3. And he bangs it.
Yep, that was a good putt for Nico. Gained some momentum.
Yeah.
He's Nate went OB, had a rough hole, and he got his par, so he should be able to gain a few strokes. There was Jason tapping it in his 3.
Yeah, and so here are the results after hole 4. It looks like you're right, Rick. Nico is starting to creep on Nate just a little bit. And right now we're going to hole 6. We're skipping hole 5 on this final 9 layout. You're leading off there, and you caught a tree right at the end of the lane there.
Yeah, this is a tough little par 3 downhill, about 320 or so.
It's one of those where you have to really know when you want your disc to fade.
Exactly.
That looks just about right. But I mean, it's not just kind of a simple hyzer where it's gonna bang left at the end. You want to get that disc working a little earlier. Nico needs to keep the good momentum going, and that looks just about right. And here's Nate, and he wants to get off the tee here because he had a rough last hole. It's a little early, but it's getting down there. He got a leaf there. What's it like after you have a tough hole and you're in competition like that?
It's definitely tough. Like this hole, everyone put it down there, and I was the only one that didn't have a birdie look. It looks like so.
There's Nate for his deuce.
At that point, I was so far. I just want to get a par and.
Let's see if these other 3 can clean it up. Money.
Puts it in. Nice putt, Jason.
After the last 2 putts here, I'm going to lead us down to the 16th.
Yeah, they all threw good drives on this one. I didn't start it off so well, but everyone else seemed to put a good move on theirs, and see if everyone else can get their birdie.
We're going to skip over to hole 16, which is a downhill par 3. This is about 400 feet. What do you think of this hole?
Yeah, this hole is awesome. Once again, there's the rock wall on the left. It's always shouldn't be a factor too much, but you never know.
And there's Avery's shot, and he's hyzering out a little early. There's 2 pin placements on this hole, one left and one right. And we played the right one earlier. This one's a little bit straighter down that lane, but this is about a 35, 40-foot drop down. Mm-hmm. So it's a tunnel.
Oh, it looks like he went a little left. Looks like he's over that rock wall. Like I said, the left position, the rock wall comes in a lot more into play when the pin is in the left position than in the right position. It looks like Jason went OB, but
That right position, even though it's a little further and harder to get to, it is less dangerous. You have to flirt with this OB if you want to get it close on this left pin position. But Nico throws one. It looks like it's a little right, but it busts through.
yeah, you know, he saw Jason go over that rock wall. He probably had an impact on his shot. You know, didn't want to flirt with that rock wall too much.
We saw Nate throw one down there, and he was right at it.
Yeah, you know, he threw his mid-range straight down the tunnel and kind of faded a little right at the end, and just so you can take the rock wall to play.
And that's just a laser beam with a big skip, right?
Yeah, I was trying to throw a stable disc down there, and so I didn't have to flirt with the OB, and see if I can make the birdie. Here's Jason after his OB drive, and looks like he puts it up there for a tap-in bogey.
Yeah, he was right at it. And here's Avery, and he's trying to find a way to get his up there. Avery started 2 behind Jason, and with that putt, they're going to be tied going on to 17.
Oh, it looks like Nico just banged a long putt.
Yeah, that was about a 45-footer.
We'll see if his putt impacts Nate's.
Oh, just low, and he got a little bit of the cage there.
Yeah.
You had no problem with reduce there, huh?
Yeah.
Yep, and then Avery had no problem cleaning his up either. And we're moving on to hole 17. You see the scores getting a little tighter there between Nate and Nico, and Jason and Avery. It's setting up for a good finish in those 2 battles. The Green Mountain Championship is sponsored in part by Fiddlehead Brewing Company, one of Vermont's newest craft breweries located in the beautiful town of Shelburne, Vermont, and producing full-flavored beers with a true beer connoisseur in mind. We're moving on to hole 17. This is the 7th hole of the final 9 here at the Green Mountain Championship at Smugglers Notch. At this point, you had a pretty solid 9-stroke lead, so you must have been feeling fairly confident there.
Yeah, you know, it definitely makes it a lot less stressful, you know, knowing that you don't have to battle these last few holes.
What's Nico trying to do here on this par 4? It's a dogleg left off the tee, right?
Yeah, well, you just, on this one, you want to basically follow that path that you see on your left down the fairway, and like Jeff said, it curls a little left, and look like he's going to throw a driver pretty straight and let it fade left. Looks like he left it a little straight.
Yeah, just a little right. And that's not a terrible spot. It's just a little blocked out for your approach. And then here you go, and you let one rip on this.
Yeah.
Turning the corner nicely, and that's up there.
Didn't look like I liked the shot. I think I actually clipped something coming around the corner. I threw it a little left, but we'll see if I have a upshot.
Here's Avery.
He gets it out a little farther than I did. He gets it out right, and he piered it. You know, it looks like he should be right down by that red tee, like Jeff said, and that's prime position for a good shot at 3. There goes Nate looks like throwing a driver down on the corner. Looks pretty good. Look a pretty good shot.
All right. And here's Jason Dorr following everybody up. Let's see if he can blast one down the middle. Oh, it's hugging that right side. Oh, it catches a little tree, and he is in a good spot. He made the corner. He's going to have a mid-range up.
Nico looks like he's got a little stretch-out shot here. Looks like he threw a little low. He didn't get it as high as he wanted. You know, it's a tough shot to get your angle on.
Oh, and there you are with an unbelievable Annie there.
Yeah.
That Annie flick was working on the final 9.
Yeah, you know, I was in, like I said, it was a little trouble on that one, so I had to throw a tricky shot, and it seemed to work. I think I have a 20-footer through some trees on that tough green, so we'll see.
So here's Nate, and he's trying to fend Nico off. And he's punching his up too, and he rattles around there, and he and Nico are about the same distance out.
Yeah, they are. Nate clipped a tree and dropped, so they're both about 150 feet. Here's Jason on his upshot after a pretty nice drive, and looks like he clipped something.
Oh, and there's Avery applying the pressure to Jason. He skipped a little
A
long
little
there.
long, yeah. Here's Nate for his long 3 look.
Get it.
This would be big.
Just short, you know.
Skips right under there.
Yeah.
So here's Nico. If he can find a way to get this in, he's going to pull within 1 of Nate. He goes 3 back at this point. Oh, you need to take that wide. Here's Dorr for his 3.
Come on.
Oh, and he misses. Here's you in the woods. Did you have a window here? Because it did not look like you did.
It was tough to find a stance, but once I found a stance, I think I did have a little small window. So
Yeah, it's pretty thick in there. But it's no problem for you.
yeah, I find a hole through there.
So, yeah, at this point, you run off a string of birdies again. And I think you were through 7-5 down.
Yeah, I tried the first hole I struggled with, but then after that I kind of warmed up and started getting the hang of the final line.
Okay, let's take a peek at the results. Going on to 18. It looks like you've got the firm lead, Rick. But there's two interesting battles. We got Nate and Nico battling for second, and Avery and Jason are tied going into the last two holes. Here we go on 18, and you were throwing like a Sky Annie on this one all week.
Yeah.
Did that work out any of the times?
Well, it's such a tight tunnel shot. I just wanted to try and get up over the trees.
Nico got his up, and he should be about 35 feet. Here's Avery off the tee, and he's actually tied with Jason right now, and he throws a really, really nice shot. He's going to be about pin high, but over to the left. Yeah, and here's Nate, and he's got his three-stroke lead on Nico.
He missed his line on that one.
Yeah, but you're right. It is a tough tunnel. There's those birches on the right and trees on the left, so you got to hit it. Here's Jason Dorr. He knows Avery's up there.
Hits a little limb, but he looks like he snuck through and got past the bush.
Yeah,
And that's a pretty good drive in this hole. Is past the bush. You have a putt inside 45 feet if you get past that bush.
And here's Nate with his approach. Pretty simple, over the bush, but through two trees, and he's parked. And there's your upshot. Shouldn't have any problem cleaning that up. Here's Jay Dorr.
Just left and went a little long.
All right, and here's Nico.
Jump putt and he puts it right in there. Nice putt from Nico.
And there's Avery with his birdie. So he's taking a one-stroke lead, and let's see if Jason can knock.
Oh, Jason.
That is rough.
Yeah,
That is rough right there.
Misses a 15-foot par comeback. Two back going into the last hole. So.
Yeah, he's not happy.
No.
You see him biting his towel there. Oh, man. That was rough. I'm sorry, Jason, if you're watching this. We probably shouldn't have even shown that. But here are the results. Nico's two back. Jason's two back. And we're going on to the final hole, hole 20. Up on this 20th hole, what are you thinking? What are you trying to do? Because I know you did go OB at one point this weekend.
I did. I threw it long actually on this one. There's a OB line that runs long of the basket, and I threw it long. I think the third round, and so hopefully I can make an adjustment this round and see where I can put my drive.
Yeah, and again, this is a camera angle from down by the basket, and you're looking at a long, kind of fairly big, wide open fairway, but it's such a long shot. If you want to get it down there, you're going to be challenging OB. OB is about 25 feet behind the basket. And he goes up. Let's see what he can do. Oh, he rips one out there, traveling all along the OB line, and it's fighting to come back in.
Oh, looks like he just hung out a little right, but he probably crossed up and by the basket.
And here we have one coming in just short.
Yeah, looks like he just layup because there's OB on both sides. It's a pretty smart play.
What was your disc of choice here?
It was a PD too. It was my disc for the long field holes. I put a good move on this one. I didn't throw it long this time.
Yeah, that's about 15 feet, 10,
yeah.
15.
Yeah, it was a good way to end the day.
Here's Nate. And with Nico going OB,
yeah, he's
takes the pressure off him, right?
Yeah, he's probably just going to lay a safe one out there in the middle and try and get his three. He's got nothing to lose.
And then here's Jason Dorr. Avery's down there. Avery played it pretty safe, so he's trying to bomb one, trying to get it close first too. And he gets it up there.
Yeah, I think there's three discs right in that same vicinity. It's a good common spot to land with all the OB.
Yeah, he's probably regretting that missed putt now. He'd probably have a putt to tie Avery, but Avery played it really, really well down the stretch. I mean, he really made a charge coming home and got that birdie on 18, and now he played it safe here. So with a two-stroke lead, looks like Avery's got fourth wrapped up. Nate had a great tournament, and actually after 54 holes, you guys were tied.
Yeah, we were battling most of the weekend until the finals.
Here's Jason Dorr. Try to finish up with an eagle 2.
Oh, he
Oh,
just
he
skipped
makes a
off.
great run.
Looks like he rolled a little bit. I think he might have went OB. He knows it doesn't really matter at this point, so he's just kind of having some fun. So
Good finish for Nico. Nico also played really well all tournament, and was battling with Nate in this final 9. Just couldn't get it done. Nate also played solid and steady. Threw a 48 his first round, which actually held up as the new course record. Basically had a drop in.
yeah,
There it
it's
is.
a good way to finish at the end there. I'll definitely be back next year. I'm looking forward to it, and just had a great time.
Well, it was great having you, Rick, and all the other touring pros that made it up for this event. We'd again like to thank our sponsors, The Mix, Hearth and Candle, Brown & Jenkins, Back 9, and our presenting sponsor, Fiddlehead Breweries. Thanks again for watching coverage of the first annual Green Mountain Championship. See you next year for an A tier. Moving up a slot in the final 9, in 4th place, give it up for Avery Jenkins. All right, in 3rd place, Nico LaCastro. Give it up for Nate Doss, 2nd place, $825. Shooting a ridiculous 73 on that par 90 27. I think it's worth it. $1,200 goes to Ricky Wysocki. Rooster Ridge Disc Golf would like to thank our site sponsors, Smugglers Notch Resort and Club Wyndham, with promotional consideration paid for by the following: Coca-Cola, enjoy Coca-Cola, and American Express, don't leave home without it.